G'day, and welcome to Archie and Roo. I'm Roo, and today I thought that I would share a funny story about some of our silly chickens that we have here, and also share my thoughts on something that made me think about. You see, we had two chickens sitting on eggs in the same rather large egg-laying box. One was sitting on duck eggs, the other was just on some other eggs. However, when one of the duck eggs hatched, both of the silly hens thought that the duckling was theirs. And so now they've ended up looking after it together. Although it hasn't been without its issues, let's say. Well, let's go see them now, shall we? Here is our duckling. It is a khaki Campbell, and it's about 3 weeks old. It was a lot smaller to begin with, but now it has become giant compared to the mothers. This white hen here is Susie, and the fluffy-footed one over there is Gladys. She's mothered some ducks before, and so she's used to how weird they look with their paddle feet and broad beaks. When we first put them down in the hutch, the two mothers actually fought over the duckling because they both were they both wanted to keep it for themselves. Personally, I think these two hens have acted very silly because Susie, she hopped off all her eggs to sit on the duckling when it hatched, and Gladys abandoned her other eggs, and so all those eggs never hatched, and they wouldn't leave the duckling alone. The problem is, the duckling has gotten used to having two mothers, and now if one mother is with it but not the other, it squawks wanting the other mother there as well. The fighting between these two crazy hens has actually reminded me of a famous account within the Book of Kings, First Kings that is, of two women arguing over a baby. These two women had been making their money in a, let's just say, a rather terrible way, and they then had conceived and gave birth to children within a few days of each other. Then one of them, let's call her the first woman, rolled over on her baby in the night, and her baby died. So when she saw that her baby was dead, she turned around and swapped it out for the baby belonging to the second woman. And the second woman, when she awoke, she could tell that the one that was now dead beside her was not hers. But you see, the first one was not willing to take the dead one back, and so they ended up arguing, and the case was brought before King Solomon. Solomon was unable initially to determine who was the right mother because both insisted that they were the true parent. So then he made a decision which seemed rather extreme. He gave the command for a sword to be brought, and then said that the baby should be divided in half, and that each woman should take half of the baby. The true mother, then, because she wanted her son to live, said that the other woman could have it, just don't cut it in two. However, then the first woman said, showing no compassion whatsoever, said that it should be cut in two. Then King Solomon stated that the second woman was the true mother, and he was able to determine this not only through knowing the fact that the true mother was would be the one who was compassionate on this child, but also through the wisdom that God had given him. True wisdom only comes from knowing God, and this wisdom is characterized by, first of all, the fear or reverence of the Lord, acknowledging his sovereignty and power, and that he is the only one who can save us. And then secondly, it is characterized by acknowledging the realities that he has put in place, such as the future that he has planned for mankind, or his hand in the creation that surrounds us every day. And then this wisdom is put into effect by making decisions that are based on God's principles, and that align with his will. We too can also have wisdom like Solomon did. Obviously not to the extent that he had, because God promised him that he would be the wisest person to ever live. But we can attain a fraction of that wisdom if we genuinely ask the Lord for the wisdom of God. As it says in that's 1 Peter. Sorry. As it says in James chapter 1 verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. And we know that God will give us his wisdom when we ask for it, because he delights to give his children good things. As for those two silly chickens on the lawn, they don't have the wisdom of the Lord, and we can't do anything about it, so they'll just have to continue raising up that duckling together, even if they don't want to share it at times. Hope you have enjoyed this video. I also took a clip of another silly hen who also thinks she's clucky and is sitting in a weird place as well, and I'll be sticking that on the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. God be with you, and goodbye. Oh, I didn't wave. Hello, Arabella the Scorpion. Do you think you're clucky above Etta, do you? Well, I can tell you one thing you're not.